ANC member Boy Mamabolo's legal bid to be reinstated on his party's parliamentary list for the May election has been struck from the roll. His removal is over his failure to submit his matric certificate in line with new requirements by the ANC. The High Court in Johannesburg today finding that the case lacks urgency. Let's take a listen.
With regard to this application, I have had the benefit of going through the entire papers, the records, the papers filed of record. I've considered the matter. I'm not persuaded, I'm afraid, to enroll this matter as an agent one, and for that reason, this matter stands to be struck off the roll with cost.
Well, Mamabolo's lawyers earlier arguing that he's a victim of factional battles within the ANC.
What it does is it creates this undesirable impression among the public that there are people within the ANC who meet in secret smoke rooms and they curate the government that will ultimately effectively be imposed on its members and generally the electorate.
But the ANC insisting that he does not meet the party's requirements.
If the ANC will take this kind of a candidate to parliament, this will be a classical case where the public will revolt against the ANC. That you are bringing a person who's tainted by so many things. More importantly, the matric certificate, which you say, I have, but he's refusing to produce. And that, my lord, that we cannot take his word. Then I submit that it's an important requirement, which is not only for the benefit of the ANC, but for the benefit of the people of South Africa, that they be sure that our parliament, as the legislative arm of government, has been manned up by people with proper credentials.
Well, let's talk to the man himself, Mr. Boy Mamabolo, who joins us via the virtual platform now. Mr. Mamabolo, good evening to you and thank you for your time. The matter has been struck from the court roll. The court clear that it lacks urgency. Do you still have the appetite for this to be debated or at least argued on the merits of the case itself?
Well, thank you very much, Xoli, and evening to your viewers as well. I'm here at Loftus to support Vanyana, so never mind all the sounds, just, that are surrounding me. Well, we welcome what you call the judgment, because they dismissed the agency part of it without actually getting into the merits. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to put it on a normal roll. A normal roll can take maybe a month or two. Preferably, we can get an early date, maybe before elections, because, I mean, branches of the ANC can't sit and nominate people to parliament unless one individual sits down and tamper with the list. That can't be allowed.
The ANC is very clear that you do not meet the requirements, and one of those is that you had to submit a matric certificate. And that is part of what they said was the rigorous process that members of the ANC that are to be sent to Parliament must meet this criteria. So what is your standpoint if you do not have that document?
No, it's not true. Remember, I'm a sitting member of Parliament. I'm not a new entrant. The rules, yes, were changed last year to say preferably a candidate must be having a matric or post-matric certificate. We went to the interviews on the 23rd, I think, of November, and I attached my CV there. My CV had my post-matric qualification of paralegal. I did my paralegal with University of Johannesburg. There's no way you can go to University of Johannesburg without having a matric certificate. Yes, they did write me a letter on the 27th of November to say, no, you have to submit your matric certificate. But that cannot be the issue at hand, Xoli. Any person, Xoli, can go to Parliament, whether you have grade R or sub A or grade 1 or whatever. We have to with President Zuma before going there without having what to call it, all those proper documents. So for you to go to Parliament, you can go there, whether you have grade R or grade 1 or whatsoever.
Why is it that the ANC, you feel, should relax the rules? Because part of your argument, at least by your lawyers, is that this is as a result of ANC factionalism. But the process is led by a former president, and that is former President Kgalema Motlanthe. He is the head of the Electoral Committee. And I would have thought that a decision taken by a committee led by such an individual, surely that would suffice. Does it not?
The very same secretary of that committee, yes, I agree, the committee is chaired by Comrade Halima, but the very same secretary of that committee, Chief Matsela, sent me a WhatsApp message last year around May to say, boy, for you to stay safe on the list, you must align yourself with John Mbe, the regional chairperson of Peter Mugaba there in Limpopo, for you to remain safe on the list. So I thought he was joking, up until I've seen the list that was submitted to IEC on the 8th of March without my name there. So then I just said, oh no, the issue was serious. And then on Saturday, Saturday the 9th of March, I wrote a letter to the secretary of the province, Umari Madash, who said, Umari Madash, my name has been removed. I don't know why was it removed. Can I get a raw data? He refused up until I approached the lawyers. The last made him to adhere to our, to our request. And indeed, he gave us a raw data which confirmed that I was on position 5 and then I was moved to position 22 without proper explanation at all.
What is it that you think Parliament is going to miss, or perhaps Parliament would be deprived of if you were not there as part of the ANC caucus? What is it about your qualities that you think is going to be missed here? Or is this simply about a job for you, a salary at the end of the day?
Only Parliament is a voice of the people, by the people. I mean, if you get nominated by branches of the ANC to represent them, it means that you represent your constituency. So besides representing your constituency, you also represent quite a number of South Africans. And yes, we're in Parliament. I was in Parliament for 5 years, and I'm probably the only MP who has taken a piece of his salary to contribute to the community. I've got a foundation which is running the programs there, the sports programs, educational programs, and so on. So yeah, members of the ANC and committee at large are going to miss this committed leader of the community, but it's fine. All is not lost, Goli. We still have NCOP if there are options, because they said no. If you sit the matter down, we can talk about NCOP and so on. But all is not lost, Goli. I've served 5 years was enough. I was challenging the process, this flawed process, because if we leave it now, Masila will continue to tamper with the list going forward for the national conference and so forth and so on. So it had to be stopped.
I guess we'd have to get Mr. Matsila's side of the story, yes, because that is the person, yes, you're accusing of excluding you using ANC factions. But I guess the substance of the question I asked you just moments ago has to do with integrity. You know, the former president, Thabo Mbeki, talks about the quality of the ANC membership being of paramount importance as opposed to quantity. And the reason I asked you that question, that what is it that you think you are going to contribute to that parliament, it talks to the values, the qualities of your contributions. You have been seen at some gatherings kissing. And this is the problem, because the understanding is that you are someone who's committed to another person, but there you were, and you said you're just spreading love. Is that the kind of quality you think the ANC wants in Parliament?
Only I've been elected to Parliament to serve the people of this country. So when you try to bring an issue of kissing, I mean, that one, it was a case of kissing a fellow comrade, of which there's nothing with that. We've seen people kissing Mama Winnie kissing people. We've been taught to love people here in the ANC. I don't know any other issue that you can bring when you say my behavior was not coming or what. Yeah, just any example. I can answer any question, too.
Except this particular one.
Yes.
All right. Boy Mamabolo, let's leave the conversation there. Thank you very much for your time, and best of luck in trying to convince at least the courts to hear your matter. All right, that's an ANC member who is fighting his party in order for it to send him to Parliament.